Hello students, welcome to our channel Learning Notebook. In today's video, we will learn about solar system and interesting facts about different planets. We will also understand what are comets, asteroids, meteorites, etc. So make sure you watch the entire video. Students, when we look up in the sky, what do we see? In the day, we see the sun shining bright in the sky. And at night, we see numerous stars and the moon beautifully shining in the sky. All these heavenly bodies are part of universe. So what is universe? The vast space that we see when we look up the sky and everything in it is called universe. Universe includes galaxies, all heavenly bodies like stars, planets, satellites, meteorites and comets. Now let's learn about planets. Planets are the heavenly bodies that move in orbits around Sun. They do not have light and heat of their own. They get their light and heat from the Sun around which they move. There are total 8 planets in our solar system and Earth is one of them. Students, we will learn about all these planets later in this video. Now let's learn about satellites. What are satellites? Satellites are the objects that revolves around the planet. There are 2 types of satellites, natural satellites and artificial satellites. The one which you are seeing right now on the screen is an artificial satellite. First, let's learn about natural satellites. The naturally occurring satellites are called natural satellites. For example, Moon is a natural satellite of Earth. So this is the Moon you are seeing right now on the screen. But a planet can have more than one natural satellite. Students, we will learn how many moons each planet has later in this video. Now let's see what are artificial satellites. Artificial satellite is a man-made machine that is launched into space and it orbits around a body in the space. For example, you must have heard about Hubble Space Telescope and the International Space Station. These are artificial satellites. Now let's learn about solar system. Students, solar system includes Sun, 8 planets, dwarf planets like Pluto and other objects like asteroids, meteorites, comets, dust and gases. Until 2006, we thought that there were 9 planets in the solar system. The 9th planet was Pluto and it is even further away from the Sun than the Neptune. So astronomers decided that Pluto was too small to be called a planet. So now there are only 8 planets in our solar system. So these 8 planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune. Students, you may think that the Earth is a pretty big place. But the Earth is not even the biggest planet in the solar system. Do you know which is the biggest planet? Yes, it is Jupiter. And you could fit 1321 Earths inside Jupiter. The Sun is even bigger than Jupiter. It would take 1.3 million planets the size of Earth to fill the same volume as the Sun. Now you know which is the biggest planet. But can you tell me which is the smallest planet in our solar system? Yes, it is Mercury. The Sun is present at the center of the solar system, and the 8 planets move around the Sun in a fixed path called orbits. The planets do not have light and heat of their own. They get their light and heat from the Sun. The third planet, which is the Earth, is our home. And Earth is the only planet which supports life. Students, do you know all the planets except Earth have been named after Roman and Greek gods? If you are enjoying watching videos on our channel, then do like, share and comment on our videos. Also, do not forget to subscribe to our channel Learning Notebook. Students, after completing this video, I would recommend you to attempt the solar system quiz. We have made 2 quizzes on solar system, part 1 and part 2. The link to these videos are there in the description box. Now let's learn about Earth. Our planet Earth is the only planet in the solar system that has life. It is home to plants, animals and human beings. The presence of air, water and ideal temperature makes life possible on Earth. Students, do you know the Earth is also called as a blue planet because about 3/4 of its surface is covered with water. This makes Earth appear blue from the space, and that is why it is called a blue planet. The Earth is spherical in shape, as it is slightly flattened at the poles, and the Earth is surrounded by a thin layer of air which is called the atmosphere. Students, the Earth is moving all the time, even though we cannot feel it. There are 2 types of movements of Earth. One is rotation and second is revolution. Earth takes 24 hours to complete one rotation and just over 365 days to travel all the way around the Sun, which is called revolution. Students, if you want to learn more about rotation and revolution, then do watch our separate video. The link to this video is available below in the description box. Students, as we all know that Earth has only one moon. The moon moves around the Earth and completes one revolution around the Earth in about 27 days. The moon does not have light of its own, and thus it reflects the light of the sun. Also, there is no life on the moon because of absence of water and air. The moon appears to change its shape every night, and these different shapes of the moon are called phases of moon. If you want to learn in detail about phases of moon, then I would recommend you to watch our separate video. The link to this video is below in the description box. Now let's learn about the sun. The sun is a huge ball of fire that gives us heat and light. The sun is made up of hydrogen and helium. In the sun, hydrogen changes into helium, and this releases a lot of heat and light energy. This energy is called solar energy. Students, do you know temperature of the sun? Temperature at surface of the sun is 5500 degrees Celsius, and temperature of its core is about 15 million degrees Celsius. The sun is in the center of the solar system. All the planets move around the sun in their respective orbits. The sun has a diameter of approximately 1.4 million kilometers, and it is about 150 million kilometers away from the Earth. Students, the sun is actually a star. As it is the closest star, it appears to be much bigger than the other stars. Do you know, light from the sun reaches our Earth in approximately 8 minutes. And without sun, life on Earth would not have been possible. Let me tell you one more interesting fact about the sun. In ancient culture, it was worshipped as sun god. Even today, some people worship sun god. The ancient Egyptians called the sun as Ra, and the Romans called it as Sol. Now students, let's understand the planet Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun, and thus it is the first planet in the solar system. It is the smallest planet and is made of rocks. Students, Mercury is so close to the sun that it only takes 88 days to complete its orbit. It is much hotter than our planet Earth. It is very hot during the day and very cold during the night. And why is it so? Because Mercury has no atmosphere. And do remember that Mercury has no moon. Now let's learn about second planet, Venus. Venus is the next planet from the sun after Mercury. Venus is also made up of rocks. Like Earth, Venus has an atmosphere around it, but it is a lot thicker than Earth's atmosphere. And Venus is permanently covered in clouds. This is why Venus is the hottest and brightest planet. It has an average temperature of 460 degrees Celsius. Venus is about the same size as of Earth. And students, it takes 225 days to travel around the Sun. Again, Venus is the planet which has no moon. Now we know that the third planet is Earth, which we have already discussed. So let's talk about fourth planet, which is Mars. Mars is the planet which is a little smaller than Earth. It used to have an atmosphere like Earth and Venus, but it does not have very much of it anymore. Mars is reddish in color and thus it is sometimes referred as the red planet. It takes 687 days to complete its orbit around the Sun, and its average temperature is minus 63 degrees Celsius. And remember, Mars has 2 moons. Now let's talk about next planet, which is Jupiter. As I told you, Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system. You could fit 1321 Earths inside Jupiter. Jupiter is made of gas and is one of the 4 gas giants. It has, can you guess how many moons? 79 moons. And one of the moon is even bigger than planet Mercury. Jupiter is 5 times as far from the Sun as the Earth is, and thus it takes almost 12 years to travel around the Sun. Now let's learn about next planet, Saturn. Saturn is a planet which is famous for its rings, and these rings are made up of huge numbers of lumps of ice and dust. Saturn is the second largest planet in the solar system and is one of the gas giants like Jupiter. Students, Saturn takes 29.5 years to travel around the Sun. And do remember that it has 62 moons. Now the next planet is Uranus. Uranus is another gas giant. One could fit 63 planets the size of Earth inside Uranus. It takes 84 years to orbit around the Sun, and it is the coldest planet with an average temperature of minus 220 degrees Celsius. Students, do you know why it is blue-green in color? Because it has methane gas in its atmosphere, which gives it blue-green color. And Uranus has 27 moons. Now let's learn about the last planet, which is Neptune. Neptune is the farthest planet from the Sun. It is 30 times as far from the Sun as Earth, and it takes 165 years to travel around the Sun. Neptune is the last of the 4 gas giants and is 58 times the volume of Earth. Students, Neptune has 14 moons. If you are enjoying watching videos on our channel, then do like, share and comment on our videos. Also, do not forget to subscribe to our channel Learning Notebook. So till now we have learned about satellites, sun and all the planets. Now let's learn about other members of the solar system. First one is asteroids. So what are asteroids? Asteroids are small rocky objects that orbit the sun. There are lots and lots of asteroids in our solar system. Although asteroids orbit the sun like planets, they are much smaller than planets. Most of the asteroids are present in the main asteroid belt. What is an asteroid belt? It is a region between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter. Students, now let me take you inside the asteroid belt. So this is how it will look inside the asteroid belt. There are millions and millions of asteroids that orbit around the sun. Asteroids are not all round like planets. They are irregular in shape as shown on the screen. Shape of asteroids are not equal. Some are hundreds of miles in diameter, but some may be small as pebbles. Now let's learn about comets. What are comets? Comets are giant snowballs of frozen gases, rock and dust that orbit the sun. When frozen, they have the size which ranges from few miles to tens of miles. So this is how a comet looks like. Now students, here we have a sun and an orbit of a planet, let's say Earth. Now the comets revolve around the sun in a highly elliptical orbit as shown here. Due to this, the period of revolution of a comet is usually very long. When comet comes closer to sun, it heats up and it forces out dust and gases into giant glowing heads. The dust and gases form the tail that stretches away from the sun for millions of miles. The tail of a comet is always directed away from the sun as shown here in this diagram. Students, see, this is a comet which is approaching the sun and its head is heating up into a giant glowing ball. The dust and gases are forming the tail. One such comet is Halley's Comet, which appear nearly every 76 years. So this was all about comets. Now let's learn about meteors and meteorites. We know asteroids are small rocky bodies that orbit the sun. Sometimes one asteroid smashes into another. This can cause small pieces of asteroids to break off. Those pieces are called meteoroids. Meteoroids can also come from comets. If you are enjoying watching videos on our channel, then do like, share and comment on our videos. Also, do not forget to subscribe to our channel Learning Notebook. If a meteoroid comes close enough to Earth and enters the Earth's atmosphere, it vaporizes and turns into a meteor. Students, at night you may sometimes see bright streaks of light in the sky. They are called meteors or shooting stars. But they are not actually stars. So we have learned a meteor is usually a small object that enters the Earth's atmosphere. At that time, it has a very light speed. The friction due to atmosphere heats it up. It glows and evaporates quickly. That is why bright streak of light appears for a short time. So now you know about meteoroids and meteors. Now let's learn about meteorites. Students, some meteors are large and reaches the Earth before they evaporate completely. Such meteors are called meteorites. Students, we have 3-4 quizzes on solar system. So don't forget to attempt them. They will be very helpful for you to revise all the concepts we have learned in this video. Now let's learn about meteor shower. Sometimes when the Earth crosses the tail of a comet, loads of meteors are seen. These are known as meteor shower. Some meteor shower occur at regular intervals and you can actually see them without any telescope or binoculars. So in this video, we learnt about solar system, interesting facts about different planets, and difference between asteroids, comets, meteoroids, meteors and meteorites. If you like this video, then do share it further. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.